Well, Nicole, we are entering a very dangerous phase. And over the next 33 days, what's not on the ballot is merely a choice between Republicans or Democrats or Trump or Biden. Actually, what's on the ballot is a choice between democracy or whether or not we're going to revert to some Russian form of dictatorship or autocracy where our democracy is undermined. It's long been an ambition of Putin. It's long been an ambition of Russian state propaganda to show the world that American democracy doesn't work, that actually the people can elect their representatives and that this peaceful transfer of power cannot occur. And that, of course, is used to justify Putin staying in office for 10, 12, 16 years, which is exactly the kind of rhetoric that Donald Trump is now talking about on the stand, saying, I'm going to stay in office for 16 years. And his effort, make no mistake, is to undermine the ability of the American voter to have confidence in our democracy. He wants people to stay home. He wants his white supremacist gangs to come out, sow violence if necessary to prevent people from going to the polls under the guise of poll watching. And he wants to suppress the vote. And even if he loses, Nicole, even if he loses outright, he wants to take that case to the Supreme Court where he's actually trying to put his handpicked person on the court. And he essentially does not want to yield power under any circumstances.
Do they really think that China is as bad, as malevolent as Russia? Really?
No, not really. I mean, they hear what he's saying, but I don't think anybody buys that. I think most Republicans in Congress, I think most people involved in running President Trump's campaign know that the FBI director is likely to know what he's talking about. They just don't want to contradict the president when he spews his nonsense, and his nonsense is the reality he would like to create rather than the reality that is. And look, this is just a situation that we have to deal with. I don't think there's going to be some sort of last minute, enlightenment by all of the president's Republican enablers, and suddenly they're going to rediscover their love of American democracy as it was. We are going to have to do this. We are going to have to vote. We're going to have to vote in huge, undeniable numbers. I voted on Tuesday. People are voting in many states across the country now, and the old saying is vote early and often. Just vote early. Vote now, and overcome the obstacles. It's just what's going to have to be done in order to end this nightmarish interlude in our democracy called Trumpism. And it all the polls indicate that is within reach, and that can be done. And yes, you can perhaps monkey around on the edges with a close election. With an election that's not close, you can't monkey around with that. And it will be accepted, and he will leave. He might go kicking and screaming. He might have to be dragged out of the White House on January 20th at 1 minute afternoon, but he will go.
I really think that filters down to the electorate 33 days out.
Yeah, I think we're all fed up, right? Like, it's time. I want to be able to focus on my kids. I want to go to Little League. I don't want to have to be careful around friends for saying the wrong thing about not being supportive around Trump. We want to move on with our lives. And sadly, this president is so dangerous that we can't. We have work to do to be able to save our country, quite frankly. That's how dire a situation we are in. But I want to echo what Tim is saying. Now is the time to come and speak out. This isn't an election about your policy preferences. This isn't an election about maintaining power. This isn't even an election about, siding with the racist. His comments on Tuesday night are going to lead to more violence. You are now siding with somebody who is in violent defiance of their oath of office to protect the country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. You cannot continue to support a man who is treasonous in carrying out his duties. This is dangerous, and it needs to stop.
they're really showing themselves to do really well. Come on, man.